Welcome to Review Recording 1A to accompany Instructional Recording 1A for Section 6.2, Unit 6, Chapter 6 of Mathematics 2200. We focus on multiplying and dividing rational expressions and finding non-permissible values through a couple of examples. Example 1, we're asked to simplify completely. It's a multiplication problem. So we begin by factoring everything we can. So we factor the 25 minus x squared. That's 5 minus x, 5 plus x, all over x squared. Nothing we can do to factor that further. X squared minus 2x has a common factor of x, so it's x outside of x minus 2. In the denominator, we've got x squared plus 3x minus 10. That factors as x plus 5, x minus 2. You can check that by doing FOIL or whatever way you multiply two binomials. Next, we have to find our non-permissible values. I'll abbreviate that as NPVs. From this denominator, x, if x is 0, then we would be dividing by 0. If x is negative 5, that would make this factor equal to 0, so we don't want that. And x equals 2 would make this factor equal 0. Again, we don't want that. So therefore, since these non-permissible values become our restrictions, we can rule out C and D as options, down to A and B. Now that we've got that, I'll rewrite my first step right here again. You could go right back up here and do all the work I'm about to do. Just had to make sure that I didn't do any simplification before I found my non-permissible values. So now I can look at my factors. X minus 2 will divide into x minus 2 to give me 1. X will divide into x squared x times. Once up there. 5 plus x is the same as x plus 5 if we reverse the order of the terms. So they divide to give 1. And we are therefore left with 5 minus x over x, where x cannot be negative 5, 0, and 2. A is our answer. This question simply asks us to find the non-permissible values for this division problem. We start by examining the denominators right away. They're already factored for us. So my non-permissible values. From this factor, it would be w equals 10. From this factor here, w equals negative 8. And from this factor here, w equals negative 10. So it looks like 10, negative 8, and negative 10 are the only non-permissible values. However, recall, when we divide, we have to multiply by the reciprocal. So now we've got to think about w plus 7 times w minus 7 over w minus 10, w plus 8 times w plus 10 over 2 outside of w plus 7. So now that we've taken the reciprocal, we've got another non-permissible value at negative 7. So in other words, our non-permissible values were the roots of all our original denominators, plus the root of the numerator for this divisor. So our correct answer here is C. Now, although this question didn't ask us to simplify, I'll just continue on and show what the simplification would be. The restrictions on the variable were found from the non-permissible values plus or minus 10, negative 8, negative 7. Now we can proceed to divide like factors. W plus 7 goes into w plus 7 once. And that's about the extent of what we can do. So we would have w minus 7, w plus 10, all over w minus 10, w plus 8, And we'll put that 2 right in front here, where W cannot be equal to plus or minus 10, negative 8, or negative 7. Key ideas: rational expressions can be multiplied and divided in manner similar to multiplying fractions. When multiplying rational expressions, the non-permissible values are the roots of the denominators. When dividing, though, the non-permissible values are the roots of the denominators, as well as the roots for the numerator of the divisor. That's because of taking the reciprocal.